Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being with us and sharing this historic day in America. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com, voiceofruralamerica.com. Diane has a live feed. Let me tell you what we got going on today. We have a live feed. They are at St. John's Cathedral this morning. She is monitoring a live feed at St. John's Cathedral. These are some shots from inside. I don't know that they have a live camera, but there you go. There's Trump, Melania. Look at Barron, how tall. Wow. Look at how tall he is. And that is Ivanka and Jared Kushner. And this is a live feed outside of St. John's Cathedral. When they leave, they'll be headed over to the White House. Donald Trump and Melania Trump will be headed over to the White House to have tea with Joe and Jill. And then the four of them, they will all ride together. They will ride together and over to the Capitol. When that starts to take place around 10:30, we will go just to the live feed, let you listen to C-SPAN. We will be coming back throughout the day. Diane may put me in the little corner, and I may have some commentary on some of the stuff that is going on and what you're watching myself. So there you go. We'll be watching that. You can watch right here all day long. We'll leave it up for you. Oh, Diane, I appreciate it. So take that down. I have a couple things that I want you to see in the news side before most of this takes place. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, we are live on our Facebook page, Voice of Rural America Facebook page. We have a page on Facebook. Keep saying that, right? We are live over there. We're going to see how long Mark Zuckerberg lets us run on that platform on Voice of Rural America's Facebook page before he shuts us down. We're going to test that over there. And so we'll start sharing that out. All right. Now, a couple things before we get into if you just joined the show, you know that Joe Biden has signed a pardon for Anthony Fauci, Liz Cheney, everyone on the January Select Committee, Mark Milley, and every law enforcement officer or anyone that participated in January 6, 2021. He has pardoned them in advance. So how bad, I want to give you this because give me video two about illegal immigration, video 2.
By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
Okay, so the border. Now, we do not, here at our organization, you do what you want to do, but we do not trust Lindsey Graham. Or should we say Lindsey Grahamnesty? We do not trust him. Absolutely not. I want to explain something because he's up to no good. He's a bad person. Watch this video from yesterday talking about what Trump should do first. All right. And let's go with Lindsey Graham, one big bill, attack on the homeland, video 8.
He's a dear friend. I admire him greatly. He has a political problem in the House. He wants to do one big, beautiful bill. I've never been more worried about an attack on our homeland than I am now. With the rise of ISIS in Afghanistan and wars all over the world, I think the number one priority for the Republican Party should be to secure that border. You need new money to do it. And if we don't, we're playing Russian roulette with our own national security. Border first, military funding first, get the tax cuts and spending reductions put together later on. You need to secure that border like our life depended on it.
Well,
what he's trying to do. Okay, here's a live feed. They're at the White House. And here you go. We have live feed. We'll talk about that in a moment. And Jill and Joe, can you go to the full screen with the audio? Or is that too much? Diane's doing a couple new things here this morning, folks.
you can still talk.
Okay, so Kamala, next stop unemployment line. Joe Biden, Jill, and her husband. I don't know his name, and I don't need to know it.
The president and the first lady, alongside the vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, her husband, the first gentleman, Martha Kumar. This day is also about them, and talk about their role in this transition process.
Take that audio off there if you could, and bring me back. All right, so they are meeting them at the White House for tea this morning. We will bring you when there's Kamala Harris and her husband meeting Joe and Jill at the White House this morning. Their last meeting, all right. President Trump is over at St. John's Episcopal Church with Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. They will soon be joining them at the White House. We'll pick up that feed when they come out to go to the White House. This is Kamala Harris's, my understanding, and Joe Biden's last meeting together. So as I was showing you with Lindsey Graham, I don't trust him on wanting the border first. I don't trust him with that. Be careful with what's about to happen concerning the border with people like Lindsey Graham, what they want to do. The amnesty, be careful. I do not trust Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's on there saying he is so concerned and his top priority is border security. He is so worried about a terrorist attack. What they want you to be is so nervous that you'll accept any border deal and say, wow, Donald Trump put it together. It must be an amazing border deal. Be careful. Keep your eye open on that. Now, the other one, the legacy media. Do you think, let me show you this. CBS is looking at making a deal. CBS is looking at making a deal with, first of all, number 73. Did you see where CNN settled a defamation, or they were found guilty on a defamation case and they had to pay out? This is happening. CNN settles defamation suit after being ordered to pay $5 million. Now, what about that? What about that 60-minute interview? Give me number 54. That 60-minute interview where CBS altered Kamala Harris's answers. CBS owner considering settling Trump suit over Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview ahead of merger. So 60 Minutes is going through a merger, or CBS, the parent company, Paramount, the parent company of CBS. They may want to settle this. Now, is CBS CIA? And I'll tell you what, Margaret Brennan, if you would go and look up Mike Turner, former chair of the House Intel Committee that Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, just fired. If you go look up CBS, Margaret Brennan last year, I'll bet you Mike Turner was on there twice a month. 20 times last year. Now, Margaret Brennan is very angry, very angry. And this was an exchange she had with Lindsey Graham yesterday, video 9. She actually lost it with Lindsey Graham yesterday, video 9.
They're leaving the church now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Diane. Here you go, St. John's Episcopal Church, and they are leaving now. They're completing the service. Here's Donald Trump, President Trump, Melania Trump.
He walked Melania over to the other side and put her in the car, and then he's coming back around.
Okay. So he walked her around, and then he entered the SUV there, the motorcade. They will now, let's follow this, see if they follow this. They will now head over to the White House to meet with Joe Biden and Jill. They will go in there, and then I think there'll be a picture of them in the room in the meeting. I'm not for sure. Then after that, there'll be a period of time you don't see them. And when they exit to go to the Capitol, because we're at 9:30, that's about an hour. When they exit to go to the Capitol, head to the Capitol, that's when we'll follow it. Again, there's the White House, and you have a split screen. Around 9:40, President Biden and Joe Biden will welcome President-elect Trump and Melania. So we got about 10 minutes. Let me go to where Margaret Brennan lost it, and then we'll come back to this live video feed as they go to the White House. Right now, as you know, Kamala Harris and her husband are in a meeting with Joe and Jill at the White House right now. But Margaret Brennan, Face the Nation, loses it. Give me video 9.
Since J. Edgar Hoover. That's why I trust him.
Okay. Ask him about going after journalists, which he's also said. I'm interested in the answer to that question.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll be right back.
Sure Democratic friends will ask him. And you shouldn't worry about Kash Patel.
Okay.
You should worry about reporting the news fairly, which you don't do when it comes to everything Trump.
Lindsey Graham, you're a guest on this program because we wanted to hear you out. And we welcome you back,
Good.
as we
Thank
often do, anytime, to Legacy Media. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Legacy Media. We're Legacy Media. We will be Legacy Media. Ask him if he's going to go after journalists. Ask him. They're very upset at CBS. In fact, Margaret Brennan's very upset. All right, as we're watching that feed, and Diane, if you could put a couple up here. Georgia, we will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the Georgia Hour. All right, we will bring that back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Colton Moore, the state senator that was manhandled, not allowed to go into the Georgia State House chambers. I'm going to spend time on that tomorrow. Everyone, what I call the storm chasers, are out there. The storm chasers are out there talking about tyranny in Georgia. Okay. John Burns, he should resign as Speaker of the House, but John Burns, we have talked about tyranny in Georgia. We have talked about the power in the Speaker's House, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Governor's Mansion. We've discussed that. I'm going to go into full detail. So I appreciate so many of you have said, thank you for giving us all the details of what led up to this. Tomorrow, I'm going to lay out the tyranny question, or tyranny in Georgia, and what I call the storm chasers. They're out there whooping things up into a frenzy. Nothing new on this show. But what really happened on that day? And when Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones says that on that Friday morning, he went over to Speaker Burns' office and got him reinstated, Colton Moore, why didn't he go over Wednesday morning or Thursday morning? Why didn't he go over on Wednesday morning and say, look, I don't want anything to detract us away from the inauguration this week. I don't want anything to take us away from Governor Kemp's State of the State. Why Friday? So we will get into that, because there's a couple things happening that we're going to get into tomorrow. Because here's the thing. Colton Moore I've always supported. I always have. You know that. I supported him the other day, and I'll continue to support him. But I'll guarantee you that none of the storm chasers are reading any of the legislation. And how many pieces of legislation are already filed that we need to tear into, dig into, and try to get stopped immediately, but we're too busy with, right? Let me give you something that nobody's talking about. And then we're going to go to this, because they're going to be, I tell you what we're going to do, Diane. We're going to take a commercial. You watch that, and we're going to take a break. You watch that, and we'll come back. Where did I have it here? Give me number 68. And we're going to dig into this, and we're going to get into it till tomorrow. But yes, tyranny in Georgia. Internet voting proposed for overseas voters from Georgia, but experts warn of perils. Now, let me ask you a question. That took place January 17th. That's when this article came out. Friday. No one's talking about this. Election security on our internet. Internet voting could be introduced in Georgia for voters who are members of the military or living overseas, an ideal fraught with election security risk. Right? Then on top of that, we don't have our good, and I don't know, if you're busy, and I get it, I'm not knocking it, all right? Give me number 67. Dr. Jan Johnston, election advocate. Internet voting. Election supervisors in Georgia counties. This group wants to study internet voting for Georgians who live overseas. 60% of our Georgians serving in the military, and 40%, in my opinion, nothing could be more insecure and threatening the security of voting than online voting. They want to do a test. Yes, thank you, Dr. Janice Johnston. But when did that come out? January 19th. Who's talking about it? I'm talking about it. What else? While we're going through the tyranny in Georgia, and the storm chasers are out there chasing tyranny in Georgia, which I agree. I agree 100%. Give me number 66. Do we have a bill? Do you know this? Do you know that the Secretary of State's office will not give, Secretary of State office will not give official emails to the board members? And now they did it on purpose. Now they're trying to go through their personal stuff. Yes, their personal emails and dig into everything they have. The AJC and the Secretary of State and the SEB. The AJC did not report state election board employees had government SOS emails accounts. The AJC did not report that an intern working for a few months for the state election board had a government SOS email account. The AJC did not report that a temp employee from a temp agency working for the state election board had a government SOS email account, but the Secretary of State refuses to provide the state election board members government SOS email accounts. They forget to report all of that. They're trying to take down Dr. Janice Johnson. They're trying to take down Janelle King. They're trying to take down the Republican side of the state election board and dismantle it and go after them. But we're busy with other things in Georgia. Tomorrow, we will be right back with the Georgia Hour. Take a break. We got about 6 minutes before President Trump pulls up to the White House. Take a break.